Hey guys, we're back for more Read, Rant, and Review, lazy ass version. Just hit something on the floor with my chair. So last time we read The Queen of the Tierling, and this time we're going to read another book that I just happened to read right after it, which also has a strong female character. A strong, independent woman. The book is called Seraphina. Let's read the back. 4 decades of peace have done little to ease the mistrust between the humans and dragons in the kingdom of Gored. Folding themselves into human shape, dragons attend court as ambassadors and lend their rational mathematical minds to universities as scholars and teachers. As the treaty's anniversary draws near, however, tensions are high. Seraphina Dambe has reason to fear both sides. An unusually gifted musician, she joins the court just as a member of the royal family is murdered in suspiciously draconian fashion. Seraphina is drawn into the investigation, partnering with the captain of the Queen's Guard, the dangerously perceptive Prince Lucian Kiggs. While they begin to uncover hints of a sinister plot to destroy the peace, Seraphina struggles to protect her own secret, a secret behind her magical gift, one so terrible in its discovery that it would mean her very life. Okay, there are going to be spoilers in this, and I'm going to spoil one right now. Spoiler incoming. You figure it out like 3 seconds into the book. She's half dragon. Her mother was a dragon, her father's a human. Your mind is blown. Okay, aside from that little spoiler, which really isn't that big because you figure it out like 2 seconds in and then she flat out tells you later on, I'm gonna try not to spoil too much because I really did like this book a lot and I feel like maybe you should read it. So I'm not gonna spoil everything. Everything. Probably spoil some other things, but you know. One thing the book caught me with right away is that there's great showing versus telling. The author's doing a great job of showing you about their society, their culture, the dragons, without being preachy and just telling you everything. We are with Seraphina in her life, dealing with the society the way it is. The dragons, I love them. They are what I'm calling them science dragons because they are really into doing experiments and they're always doing experiments on you, on everyone, on everything. And they're probably experimenting on you right now just to find out how you'll behave. The dragons don't like emotions. They remind me very strongly of Vulcans in that way, which is why Spock is here. They remind me very much of Vulcans because they can have emotions, but they like to not have them. They like to keep them in what's called Ard, which is essentially logic. Like, stay in Ard means behave logically. The Ard Megar is the guy who's in charge of all of them and in charge of keeping them in Ard. And when dragons are in human form, they are much more emotional, or likely to be emotional, not always more emotional, because humans are emotional creatures. And I really liked the Vulcan-y dragons. It was cool. So Seraphina has some magical powers because we can't have one of these books where there's a female main character unless she is this special in some way. So she has magical powers from being a half-dragon. Dragons themselves don't seem to have magical powers that we've seen yet, so I'm not sure why half-dragons get them. But apparently they do. And her power allows her to find other half-dragons. Spoilers again. I guess I'm just gonna spoil everything. I apologize. There's no hope for me. I wanna talk about this book so bad. She has what's called maternal memory, which dragons do have, which is memories that are passed down from their mother, obviously. And when she has one, she can't control when she gets one, and they're very incapacitating, so at least her power is, like, inconvenient to her. It's convenient because she gets a memory, but at the same time it's inconvenient because she, like, has a seizure and freaks out and pukes all over everyone. It's yeah. Powers that are not as helpful as you might like. But she keeps what essentially is a mind palace, except for it's like a memory garden where she keeps her thoughts under control. Now, as you probably gathered from reading the back, all the humans here are racist against dragons. There was a big dragon conflict a while back and they came to a peace, but humans still hate dragons and treat them very, very badly. There's this group that's essentially the Ku Klux Klan, and they are just exist to beat the shit out of dragons and harass dragons in human form. This book does take a while to get down to what the main conflict of the story is. There's little conflicts in the beginning, but it takes a long time to get down to what is going to be the overall conflict of the story. And I got a little bit bored, I'm gonna be honest, waiting to find out, like, why am I here? Why am I reading this? I mean, her life and her culture is hella interesting, but why am I reading this? I just love these dragons. I'm sorry, I do. They are so cute. Like, I'm in love with the dragons more than anything. They used to hoard gold, but after they met with humans, they decided that they should hoard knowledge instead, and knowledge is more valuable than treasure. Which is adorable because Seraphina's uncle, who is a dragon, collects books and then he sits on them. Like a dragon sits on his hoard. Just the image of him just like he goes and he sits on his books was just the cutest thing I have ever pictured in my life. My favorite character is Alma, who is her uncle, who is a dragon, and I love him to bits. He sits on books, and he would sell his own father up the river for a sandwich, and I love him. Because he's very Spock-like in that he wants to have control, but he loves his niece, and so he's really torn between control and showing love. And the other dragons are always doing experiments on him to try and get him to show too much emotion, because if he does, then they take him and they lobotomize him. And so, yeah, he's my favorite character because he's just got such a great dynamic. So, of course there's going to be romance in this story. And you can figure out pretty quickly who Seraphina is going to end up with. It's pretty obvious. There's another character called Lars that I really like, and I really ship her and Lars, but it's not gonna happen, and it makes me sad. I am kind of, even though I love the dragons, I am kind of confused by them because, okay, they're in this human-dragon conflict, and then the dragons decide that peace should happen, or the humans do, or somebody decides. And the dragons just decide to take human form, and it's not explained how they do it. And the dragons are really into science and technology and not magic so much. So you know, they're always using like listening devices and technology versus using magic for anything. And so you wonder, like, is it technology that allows them to take human form, or is that just straight up magic? And can they transform into something else if they wanted to and they just don't? Or can they only transform into humans, and if so, why? That part is confusing, never even touched on. I like that Seraphina, unlike the character in the previous book, The Queen of the Tierlings, Seraphina could not be classified as just good. Seraphina is a good liar. She's had to lie about herself all her life, and so she is a very good liar. She gets what she wants through lies. Often they come back to bite her, but she still does it, and she makes a lot of mistakes and makes a lot of wrong choices and selfish choices, and I like her a lot better than I liked the character from Queen of the Tierling. If there was a character that I would place as like uninteresting and inherently good, that would be Kiggs, the prince character. He's probably the most boring character, to be honest with you, because he is just such a goody-goody. He is Prince Charming, and he didn't do anything for me, I'm sorry. The humans developed this martial art called the Dragamachia, I think is what it's called, for killing dragons, and we get to see a little bit of it in the book, and it just sounds like the coolest thing ever, and I want to see it in real life. So, I get so tired of these girls and these stories who are falling in love for the first time and don't know what love is, and I just... How many times can an author describe to you what it's like to fall in love for the first time before you're sick of it? I think I'm officially sick of it. You know, I'm sick of all of the, what's this strange new emotion? Oh, my tummy's all fluttery. Oh, he makes me blush. I'm sick of it. I don't know what to do about it, because, I mean, it makes sense that Seraphina has never been in love before, but can we have a character maybe who is a lot more confident in themselves, or isn't really looking for love and finds friendship and then is like, hey, this could be love, without all of the fluffy, fluttery samey stuff that happens with every single one of these female characters. Every single one of them has never been in love before, never had sex before, never even been interested in a man before. Now they are for the first time, and it's always the same. And yes, in case you're wondering, Seraphina doesn't find herself particularly attractive, but she talks about it like maybe once. She has scales on her body, and she hates those, and she does even some self-mutilation trying to get rid of them. But it's different from, I have brown hair, I'm so ugly. Because in their society, they are super racist against dragons, like super racist. Like, you can't eat in this restaurant, you have to go to the dragon part of town, racist. And so for her to be discovered having scales would be just really, really, really bad and causes her a lot of understandable identity crisis and self-loathing. At least it's self-loathing that I can understand versus just like, oh, I don't think I'm pretty. So, yeah. However, I do get annoyed with this other trope that happens because Seraphina has a big secret that she can never reveal, and she refuses to reveal it even after the point where you, the reader, know that, like, say her love interest would be able to handle it and would be okay with it. Like, and she has a best friend character too, who is a woman, and that's awesome. We've got a girl-girl friendship going on in this book. And Seraphina, frustratingly, clichédly, keeps her secret long after we, the reader, know that these two characters would get over it and be okay with it and deal with her the way she is and still be her friends. But she doesn't know that, and it's so cliched and it's so tired, because how many of those stories have we seen where a character has some deep dark secret and has to hold on to it for ridiculously longer in the story than they should. I don't think it's worth the big reveal at the end, I really don't. Every single character in this book is mentally and physically diverse. No two of them look the same. No two of them act the same. They're all so distinct and so real. Like, I really love all of them, and I would read stories about any of them, and unlike Queen of the Tearling, I had no trouble telling the side characters apart or telling who was talking. I knew, because they were all so distinct and well thought out. Even the bad guys have, every single bad guy has like an interesting side story, background, personality. I love it. And then in the end, it is a love wins kind of scenario, but it isn't as cliched as you'd think it would be, so that was nice. Different kind of love than just princess kissy face love, so that's good. So all in all, I really liked Seraphina. The writing was great, the pacing could have used a little work. We took a little bit too long to get to the main thread. Once we got there, it was awesome. I wish that there was more action throughout the story. There's a great climactic action scene at the end, but I feel like maybe there could have been a little bit more action through the story just to keep it, interesting. There is a lot of politics and a lot of the society and a lot about the dragons, which I loved, but I could have done with just a touch more action. The romance is very chaste. There is a love triangle starting to happen, which is probably going to come up more in the second book, and nobody invited you, love triangle, you can just GTFO. But other than that, I really liked Seraphina, and I would definitely, and I think I will definitely seek out the sequels. So, there's that. Spock dragons. Spock dragons that sit on books. Should be a thing in my life. Anyway, I'll see y'all later. Bye!